The building we are going to present to you is the Church on Water by Tadao Ando. This church won the Pritzker Prize in 1995 for its originality. On this project, Tadao Ando creates an environment across time, generations, and cultures with his personal view of the world. In this presentation, we are going to discuss about the architect first. After that, we are going to talk about the project, and finally, we will give you our opinion on this project of Tadao Ando.
Tadao Ando is a Japanese architect born in 1941 in Osaka. When he was young, he used to spend his days outside, which prompted him, as an adult, to integrate elements and natural factors into each of his creations such as the sun, rain, and wind. He discovered architecture at the age of 15 with a book of sketches by Le Corbusier. Not having the means to follow architecture studies, he trained as a self-taught in parallel with his career of professional boxer. His numerous trips to the United States, Europe, and Africa served as a source of inspiration for his creations. This is where his predilection for the use of smooth concrete and simple geometric shapes come from. Tadao Ando's architecture are characterized by large expanses of unadorned concrete walls, wooden or stone floors, and large windows to demonstrate the importance of sunlight in his building. Another characteristic aspect of Tadao Ando's work is the preponderance of the concept of emptiness. Indeed, it's thanks to this emptiness that the light and the shadow effect so dear to Tadao Ando takes place. His style is often categorized as part of the critical regionalism, a movement to remedy modern architecture that disregards the place of construction by using local cultural elements to create.
This church was designed in 1985 and it takes 3 years to be built. It means that the church opened its doors for the first time in 1988. Tadao Ando designed this small chapel for the Alpha Resort Hotel that arranged honeymoon for newlyweds. This church is located close to Tomamu in the heart of the island of Hokkaido, in the north of Japan. This church is the complete opposite with usual ones. Firstly, the materials. This church was made of only 3 different materials. They used concrete to do the walls and the roof, and for the crosses too. Glass for the front wall of the temple, and the floor is covered with black granite slabs, but usually it's made of stone. Secondly, the shapes of this one is actually 2 cubes, instead of the usual cross that has been here forever. These 2 cubes are different sizes, one bigger that serves for the chapel, and a smaller one. They share a little corner thanks to a semicircular staircase to do the circulation between it. Finally, this chapel is not in the downtown. It has been built next to a pond and a grove. The church on the water is surrounded by nature, and the architecture of it is specifically done to see only nature and not the grotesque buildings at the back of it. The interior of the church is really empty because of the architect's choices and preferences. There are only benches in the cube that serves for the chapel. There is nothing on the walls, nothing on the ceiling too, no decorations, no murals, no paintings, no relics, no windows, and so no stained glass. The only objects that we can see in the church on water are some crosses. We can find one in the pond, and the others are in the glass cube. The architect plays on the simplicity and the essentiality for this creation, and it works, because at the end the church reflects sobriety, purity, and elegance. In the chapel, there are two different atmospheres. The space next to the glass wall is very luminous, while in the back of the room, where there is no arrival of light, the obscurity gains the upper hand.
So now we are going to talk about all the signification of this church. The church is a religious building for the gathering of the Christian community. The interior of a church is usually colorful and decorated with various works of art, whether paintings, stained glass windows, or statues. These ornaments symbolize passages of the Bible or represent saints. There are a few openings and they are covered by rosette or stained glass windows. Then there are only a few natural lights. With this project, this church on the water, Tadao Ando frees himself from conventional rules. The simplicity of the exterior and the interior calls the visitor to the first glance. There are a few religious distinctive signs. The building seems to have been clean, but wrapped in an aesthetic devoid of ornaments. The wealth of the construction is its relationship with nature. Tadao Ando used nature as an element involved in the design of the church on the water. The architect combined concepts of profane and sacred, artificial and natural, and close above the vacuum and infinity. It was by replacing the front wall of the church with a large window instead of leaving it covered with meaningful images of divine stories that he created a more vivid and eloquent scene. It connects the creator with nature itself with his work. Tadao Ando lets express the nature, the work of God. He also lets in natural light, which could also represent the divine light, the Holy Spirit. This scene is moving and changing according to the season, the hour, the weather. Each passage in this church is unique. We can discover every day a new paintings that change colors according to the season, from the color of spring and summer to those of autumn and winter. The chapel space extends outwards, keeping a visual and symbolic link with the metal cross located in the middle of the pond. Placing the cross outside the church will increase its visual impact. When you leave the church and go up, you can find a space with 4 crosses that define a transparent cube representing a new divine space in plus that church and that propagates to the cardinal points. As we hold the project of the architect, Tadao Ando, the church on the water, has many meanings and its wall is fully reflected. This is not the only sacred place he made. There were also the Church of the Light and the Chapel of the Lacoste Castle, for example. But there are many others.
In our opinion, the Tadao Ando's Water Church is a real success. We really like this project because it manages to carry a lot of meaning and symbolism while retaining a modern and refined aesthetic. The main idea of linking the creator to the creation is well put forward. It's an architecture which makes one with the environment, which surrounds it and which shines light and pose naturally in the surrounding nature, despite the use of modern materials with urban connotations such as concrete, glass, and steel. We also really like the fact that the structure is created and breathed by humans, depends on the sun, a natural factor, to be bathed in light.
We can conclude by saying that Tadao Ando is such a great architect. Despite its simplicity and its recurring use of concrete, he works on many details and signification. He stands out by no longer respecting conventional rules in place like this church. He creates atypical buildings while maintaining their usual function. That's why he completely deserves his different awards in our view.